My mom used to make these when I was a kid. She would put crab in them. It is this insanely decadent thing to be able to eat crab all the time, but when you're an 8-year-old kid and you have crab kind of all the time, you learn to hate it. I no longer hate it though, because I know how special it is. Hi everybody, my name is Renee Erickson. I'm a chef here in Seattle, and I'm getting ready to make a really great dish called Gougères, which is actually featured in my new cookbook, Getaway. When you make Gougères, it happens really fast, so you want to have all your ingredients ready. I'm going to go ahead and start grating the cheese. You want about 3.5 cups. You can use other cheeses as well. This is, like I said, this is a sharp cheddar from Ireland, but you could use Gruyere, which is a French cheese, has kind of nutty quality to it. Even like a soft cheese would be really nice. It doesn't burn as much, which I like that really kind of caramelized dark look when I am cooking Gougères. I mean, you could also actually use like all the little random bits that are in your refrigerator that end up collecting. Okay, so you're gonna put in your milk and then the butter, which you want to melt as quickly as you can. So I'm gonna cut it up into little pieces. That's gonna go straight in. It's already starting to melt. As soon as that's melted, I'm gonna add in the flour. Gougères are something that you can make in advance, which is really great. You can put them in your freezer once they're formed, and then pop them out later to bake, which is a nice way of having something super delicious and warm when people come over, or just when you want a hot Gougère by yourself and a glass of champagne. So you can see it's just starting to bubble, which is a good sign. So you're gonna dump all the flour in all at once and start stirring. In it goes. I like to use a wooden spoon because I like to be able to make sure that I'm getting all the edges of the pan. So you're going to keep stirring this, and I'm going to add a pinch of salt. It looks pretty terrible at this point, but what you want to do is just keep going. It's going to come together, and it kind of starts to ball up, which is what you're wanting it to do. The other important part of this stuff is that you're kind of toasting it. Otherwise, you don't want it to taste floury or pasty. You want to toast it, which is a good amount of good arm workout. It'll start to smell a little nutty, and that is a good sign that the flour is cooking a little bit and getting that kind of raw flavor out. So that looks pretty nice. It's formed basically a ball, which is what you're looking for. So I'm going to take it off the heat at this point, and we're going to let it cool. I'm going to put that in here. The next step is you're going to add in the 4 eggs, and you don't want to scramble your eggs in this delicious dough that you just made. All right, so once this is cooled down enough, you can kind of touch it too to see if, as long as it's like warmish, you're okay. This is basically the base dough, pâte choux, that you can make eclair, or you can make profiterole with the like ganache or croquembouche. At this point, you would be able to add sugar if you wanted to make it sweet. We're not going to do that, so it's going to stay savory. So we're going to add in the 4 eggs, and you're going to add them in one at a time because you want to make sure that it's fully incorporated. Turns out this bowl is too slippery, so I'm going to put it back in my bowl that is now cooled, or my pan, excuse me. So stirring it in here. You kind of want to just get it fully incorporated, and then keep going with the eggs. Okay, last one. There we are. The color of your egg will change how your dough looks. Now we're going to add in the cheese. So don't forget, cheese is going to go on the top as well, so we're only going to add in about a cup. And then traditionally, Gougères would be little balls. They're like, I don't know, just about an inch across, like a golf ball. These are much larger, so you're going to scoop out about a cup per Gougère. The great thing about this is you can kind of adjust it to whatever you are feeling like. So I've made them before with Espelette pepper. You can add chives, you know, like spicy things to it, Calabrian chili, that sort of stuff. So it's really kind of, this is your what do they say, your canvas for all the other flavors that you might want to make. So at this point, you're ready to bake. Your oven, I set it to 450 degrees, which is really hot. And you're gonna leave them in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. And what you're looking for is a really quick rise. So you want them to get really tall. And then we will turn the temperature down. So you're gonna do, like I said, about a cup. You can make them a little bit smaller too. You also wanna make sure that you leave a good amount of space around them so that they don't bake into each other. We started making giant gougères for one of our bars that we had, and we thought, like, what more decadent way to start out a time with your friends than having this big, hot, crispy, cheesy thing show up at your table. And they're just, it's a little absurd to have them that large, which we love. So it was just for fun, essentially. Again, like, they don't have to be this big, but we like that. So first I'm gonna add a little bit of the crunchy salt, which is essentially like Maldon salt. Next is a lot of cheese over the top, and try to be a little bit careful to keep it on the top, but it also will kind of crisp up and make that little like cheesy, frico-y thing that happens around the edges, which is totally fine, and expect it to burn a little. They're gonna be in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'll check on them and we'll see how they're doing. Here. There. I am now giving them a little rotate, and I'm gonna turn the oven down to 300. Okay, so the gougères have been in the oven for about 20 minutes when I rotated them and lowered the temperature to 300 degrees. So they're now ready to come out. They've been there for another 15 minutes or so. So I'm gonna grab them. So the one trick that you should know is have some toothpicks or a cake tester ready, and I'm gonna poke them to let some steam out, which will help them from collapsing. So they've cooled down enough to the point where I can touch them, which is nice. They're still really super steamy inside, so be careful, but I do love to rip them open and give them a try. And you can see they're like super yellow and beautiful inside. I think one of the best things about this is that combination of like crispy, salty outside and like super kind of luscious and soft of that dough on the inside. So I'm gonna just have a bite. I love these, and they're, again, enormous and ridiculous. The cheese gets that kind of nutty, like bordering on bitter cheddar quality that you get when you like make them really dark like this. And the inside's like eggy and kind of cooked custard. It makes me wish I was in Paris right now. It takes you to a place that you have had memories from food and experiences, and I don't know, what's better than that? Yum. So don't forget to click the link below for the recipe. You can also find it in my new cookbook, Getaway. There's lots and lots of really fun recipes like this that you can make for your friends, for yourself, and just to kind of have a party with your friends at home. So thank you very much. Ooh, I wish you guys could have one.